everyone, welcome to Monica's Singapore Kitchen. Today I'll be baking Portuguese egg tarts from scratch. They have shatteringly crisp multi-layered puff pastry shell and a rich creamy egg custard filling topped with signature caramelized dark spots. I will share with you the tips on how to achieve this crispy flaky pastry throughout this video. So come along with me to see how these tarts are prepared. So we have to prepare the dough first. For the dough we need all-purpose flour. I'm using a food processor. If you do not have a food processor, no problem. You can just rub the cold butter into the flour. So I've added some cold butter and also a little bit of salt. So pulse it for about 10 times. So eventually, it should look a bit sandy like this. That's the texture we are trying to achieve. It resembles fine breadcrumbs, something like this. Then add about 110 grams of chilled water. So we use chilled water to prevent the butter from melting too fast. So blend it as well for a while, maybe about 30 seconds. And eventually, the flour will then come together. So add the water a little bit at a time. So you can see that now the flour forms a shaggy mess like this. So all we need to do now is to gather all these pieces together to form a dough. Press them together to form a dough. Transfer this dough onto a work surface. So then we'll knead this for about 5 minutes or until it is slightly smooth. Okay. So then I have got parchment paper which I folded in so that it has a square measuring 20 cm by 20 cm. So transfer the dough onto this square and press the dough so that it looks roughly like a square. Then cover the dough and it will form a package that has a dimension of about 20 cm square. So then using a rolling pin, slightly massage and roll it so that our dough forms a square having a uniform thickness. So also remember to fill up all the corners of the square. So then we transfer it into a plastic Ziploc bag and then we are going to chill it. So we put it inside the fridge and we are going to chill it for 30 minutes. This is our lamination fat. I am using the pastry margarine as it delivers excellent plasticity, easy to work with and creates flaky golden tarts every time. I left a link below for this product. So I've also prepared the parchment paper and I folded it so that I've got a square measuring 13 cm square. So I transfer the pastry margarine at the center of the square. Then fold it and we got a little parcel like so, roughly about 13 cm square. So again we're going to use our rolling pin and slowly press, massage to spread this margarine out. So we want to achieve a uniform thickness and also remember to fill up all the corners of our square with the margarine. Okay, so now we're going to chill it in the fridge for 30 minutes as well. So for the filling, we need 1 egg, 2 egg yolks, 90 grams of sugar, 300 milliliters of whipping cream, 150 milliliters of milk. So for the egg, you can also use a 50-gram egg mixture. So this is the 1 egg, so pour the 2 egg yolks into it. And then whisk it until it's totally combined. Then we're going to add the sugar. So whisk to melt the sugar. Then add in our whipping cream. And our full cream milk. Mix thoroughly, but gently. Then it's highly recommended that you sieve this custard mixture. Sieving the egg mixture enables us to remove the snoot-like egg white, resulting in a smooth, silky and creamy filling. So can you see this pieces of egg white? Yeah, so we're going to discard this. So wrap it with cling wrap and chill it in the refrigerator. Okay, moving on, we are going to lightly brush oil on the moulds. I'm using flour tart molds measuring 94 by 30 mm. I left a link of this product below. So we lightly put some flour on the work surface and take out our dough from the fridge. It has been resting for 30 minutes. So it's quite firm now. Put it on the work surface, and also take out the margarine from the fridge. It's also quite firm. So place the pastry margarine on top of the dough. So just flip it and put it on top of the dough at an angle of 45 degrees with the dough. Okay, something like that. So you just shimmy it a little bit so that it is just right at the, on top. So then after that, we are going to fold the edges, rather the corners of the square towards the center. They all meet at the center and overlap at the edges and press to seal. Then lightly flour the surface. Try not to put too much flour as it will ruin your moisture and fat ratio. So using the rolling pin, gently massage the dough and the pastry margarine. And then it is still hard, so just do it gently. Eventually it will, soften and make it much easier to roll. So roll it out to about 50 cm long. Then make a book fold to form 4 layers of margarine and dough. Try to offset the open surface to one end so that all the opening does not gather at the same spot. So we've got 4 layers now. So we're going to rest in the fridge for 30 minutes. So 30 minutes later, our pastry is ready. It's nice and firm. So we are going to lightly brush the surface with flour. The open seams should be at the top and bottom. Then using a rolling pin, we are going to tap and massage it initially as it is still very firm. And then use in one direction, just roll from center to the top and center to the bottom until we get a length of 50 cm. Then put a little bit of flour and then use a soft brush to brush the flour away. So again, make a book fold, offset the edges to one side, to one end of our log. Now we have got 16 layers. So again, we are going to put it into the fridge to chill it for 30 minutes. So 30 minutes later, we're going to take it out. So subject it to another round of rolling with the top and bottom are the open ends. Yeah, the open ends are at the top and bottom. Then a little bit of flour and lightly brush it with a soft brush. So we're going to roll it out to, again, 50 cm in length. Make a book fold. So far, if we have been counting, it is 64 layers of margarine and the flour. So fourth resting, put it in the fridge for 30 minutes. So 30 minutes later, so we are going to roll it out into a bigger rectangle. So put a bit of flour, gently roll it to increase its length. We need to expand the breadth as well, so that the breadth is 30 cm and the length is 50 cm. Something like that. You need not follow exactly, but it will be something like this. Okay. So if you find that it sticks, just sprinkle a little bit of flour underneath so that it is much easier to roll. Yeah, the dough moves much easily and expand much easily. So then the dimension will be 30 cm wide and 50 cm long. So using a cutter, plain round cutter, we cut out 8 circles. Then we press the dough gently to follow the contour of the mold. All the flowers, yeah, so you just press it like that. Okay, there you go. So I also use the rim of a glass, so gently press to the base so that the base is more well defined, and also to remove some air pockets. So you're going to freeze it for 15 minutes. So put it into the freezer. It keeps the margarine solid for a flaky texture and stops the egg mixture from leaking through the softened dough. So then this is the filling. So we're going to stir it before we pour into our tart molds. So divide the thing evenly, the filling evenly. Just right. Okay, so put it in a preheated oven at 250 degrees Celsius or 480 degrees Fahrenheit for 15 to 20 minutes. So after about 20 minutes, our tarts are ready. So I like to eat my tarts when they are slightly warm. There we have it, our tarts, crispy, flaky pastry shells, velvety, jiggling sweet custard filling with the iconic caramelized tops. Do give this recipe a try someday. Till we meet again in another video. Cheers and happy cooking!